you can say his broadcast on TV yesterday, the national broadcast by Prime Minister Lee. We got so many remarks and so many comments on Facebook pages, on my WhatsApp as I woke up this morning, and they were shocking. Of course, some of them were totally rude, and I'm not going to share them with you and read them to you, but I'll just share with you some of the other important ones which I think need us to spend some time to reflect. And it's just going to be short sharings like this. So if you feel the same too, then I think it's time to take some drastic action to come together as one people, one nation, one Singapore, and make the next part of our chapter of our history much more better. Because like he said, it is time we all come together with so many schemes that they have put up, so many you can say challenges that are going to be facing. The government says it's their highest priority, the biggest priority is in jobs, helping Singaporeans to keep their jobs and find new ones. These were words from his speech yesterday, and he said we are particularly concerned about those in their 40s and 50s because I tell you something, many of us, I can say, because I fall in that group too, we are supporting, many of us have got children, got elderly parents at the same time, sandwich class, what you call them, and have a lot of financial commitments to meet. So if you're one of these people, you will understand and you will resonate with whatever I am sharing with you. Because although he said we are concerned about the matured people, the matured workers who are nearing their retirement, who maybe still want to work for a few more years to build up their nest for old age, but with COVID-19 coronavirus situation, all this is not going to be a very easy thing to do anymore with all our circuit breakers, the lockdowns, the movement control orders around the world and things like that. And most importantly, the lower income workers who don't really have much savings to fall back on. And think about the self-employed and the freelancers who don't have many more jobs left, the income security. And because we're moving towards what's called the gig economy, and a lot of messages came in also from fresh graduates. And just as I was going to do this this live telecast with you and have this interview, I just got another few people asking me for, can you help me find a job kind of message. Because a lot of even our fresh graduates who are entering the job market in this world, and some people who are in their mid you can say careers, they are having challenges finding these jobs and finding a better way together. So all of us need to come together as one people, one nation, one Singapore. And I don't care which parties you belong to, what political alignments you have, or who did you last time disagree with, or who do you agree with. Join, come on board the team, make Singapore better. And I'll tell you something, there were a lot of negative comments here, thinking that everything that's being done is bad. Of course, there are initiatives, there are schemes that are being put up by the government, but no, maybe it's not reaching everybody. It's not reaching the people who really need the help. And maybe I love this one message that somebody sent. I will not mention their names because we, of course, respect everybody's privacy. So whatever WhatsApp messages you send to me, or you write on our first Facebook pages, or you comment under our YouTube channels, I promise you privacy. I promise you, unless you write there and say, please, I want to be famous, tell my name to everybody, then of course I will promise to read your names. But in general sense, I'm more interested in your thoughts, because we all got to respect everybody's talents, everybody's ideas, everybody's monetary contributions. We got to put in all the effort, the energy, and come together as one people and put in all the good time. So even if you can't be out there, although my dreams was always to be the aspiring president of Republic of Singapore, but I think it is right. A lot of people like Desmond and many others have said, no, I think your talent is Palji to speak up for those of us who can write, and we can send you the messages, but maybe our delivery is not as smooth as yours. Not to say that I speak very well, but I'm learning too. And so I just want to share this. This is something very important, and I think this is a very good idea. And if we can take it up, if you can also share it with everybody else, come join our WhatsApp groups, join our Facebook pages, and let's see whether this idea will work. And I'll share more things in the next few messages, so please do connect with us, because I think this idea was very good. You heard of the Trace Together app, for example, which a lot of people have not downloaded, and those who did download, they are having issues with the operating systems and the battery being eaten up very fast. So we are looking at other kind of apps or wearable devices that they want to use for tracing together. But this was a beautiful suggestion. It says, just like these digital platforms like Trace Together or Higher SG Together, maybe we need to have a new platform called Higher SG Together or something like that. Why? Because this digital platform should then monitor the hiring ratios between foreign talents and the locals. Because remember, I told you one of the biggest challenges I'm having from most Singaporeans today who are writing to us are the challenges of money, jobs, and the job security itself. And this will these kind of apps need to be created so we can monitor the hiring ratio in companies between foreign talents and locals. I think this is a very good idea, because this will also ensure that Singaporeans, not that we are unqualified, or I've worked in international companies, big brand names all over the world, not just in Singapore, and I can guarantee you those people who call the foreign talents, no mate, they are not really that much more talented than the rest of us Singaporeans. We are equally, if not in many ways, more talented than all those foreign talents combined. And I'm not just talking about people from Asia who are foreign talents flooding our market, but even those from the Eurasian markets of even as far as America and Europe, all those foreign talents, and I've worked with them for the last 20-25 years in major corporations around the world. And I'll tell you what they're good at. They're very good at covering each other's deficiencies. So when one of those foreign talents can't do a good job, they will quietly remove that person to replace him with another foreign talent, or replace her with another foreign talent. So they are just very good at looking out for each other and making sure they support their own kind of people. People are people. There's no own kind. We're not like talking about aliens coming on planet Earth. Although a lot of local TV talk about national broadcasts are showing those kind of movies, very funny. But anyway, I come back to it. We need to make sure that we Singaporeans are given a chance to have global roles. Because we are today, come on, think about it. You and I are talking in English. We speak and understand this language better than even the native speakers who are born in those countries where these languages come from. We have got greater education system that maybe the generation 1, 2, and maybe even partially the third generation of leaders of the previous government, the outgoing government, has brought about a group of people, a team of people from third world to first world. Now we got to respect ourselves and have that kind of confidence that we can do it too, and we can achieve a lot more. So please, maybe this is a very good message. If we can develop an app, a digital platform that allows the government to monitor the hiring ratios of the foreign talents and locals, maybe that will protect our jobs. Just like Trace Together is an app that we are using, and at the same time the focus should be that Singaporeans are also given and represented in the HR roles, in the higher management roles, and not just having foreign talents being in these positions or outsourced to other companies. So I just wanted to just share this with you, and this is important, because no doubt another friend of our writes, he says, by the way, the earlier message was from a beautiful lady. I want to just thank her. I know she listens to all this and she shares very good ideas, although she's shy to come to the front. Please carry on sharing. And the next message from a very handsome guy, he says, in every country, people no doubt choose the leaders, but we need to choose leaders who are really capable to lead a team to ensure that the lives of the people of that country are put at the foremost importance. And all this can only happen if we come together to choose our leaders the right way. So come, my dear friends, share this with everybody. It's time each and every one of us come together, regardless of our political aspirations or alignments or the parties we have been supporting. We need to come together as one people, one nation, one Singapore, one team, because together everyone achieves more. So come on board, join the team, make Singapore better, and we are what we are today because of our past leaders' foresight. Think about it. Bottom line, peace will prevail, and Singapore will become even more prosperous. We will have everything that we say in our pledge coming true, and our lives as one people, one nation, one Singapore will become better. And we need our people to live without fears, without living the fears about job losses and lack of financial abundance, and having this thing about being stuck in the sandwich generation. Think about it. I like this other message somebody wrote who says, but we are getting it slowly but surely. More Singaporeans are getting it, that you need to put in the right people, a diversified group of people, not only one team of people from one party itself who only have the same like mind of like thoughts, but you need people with diversified thoughts who can come together, but with one focus, one value system, not forgetting the values that we were taught. And these were the foresights that past leaders had. And think about it. Yesterday, Prime Minister Lee also spoke about in 1965, when we went through those challenges, and how Singapore came together, and how the values that we had were there. But think about it, in 1965, somebody else has written a beautiful comment. They said, listen, even your father, or Prime Minister Lee, he was in the opposition in 1965, that era. In that era, he was in the opposition. And if the people, the Singaporeans of that time, had not been brave enough to give the opposition an opportunity to come forward, today Singapore wouldn't be where we are, because then they wouldn't have voted for the opposition opposition leader of that time, Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, and today Singapore wouldn't be where it is, a first world country. So maybe just like the first generation leaders who came from the opposition came together because they felt a need to make this country better, I'm very sure every person, whether in the opposition or the current government, they all have this hunger, these aspirations to come together. And each and every one of you who is listening, let's do our part on the day we go and put in that voting slip. And I just want to end off today's session with something. Someone wrote a very beautiful thing. Where is my $23,345? At first I didn't understand what you mean by where is my, are you asking me for $23,456 or whatever the figure was, $23,225. And then when I messaged the person back, he says, remember, one of the people in white, they said, if you divide the entire 100 billion that we have taken from our reserves this time, and you shared with the number of Singapore citizens, each one of us has just been given about $23,225. Wow, what a simplistic view of the entire thing. And I laughed and I said, oh, is that why you asked me where's my whatever that money? And I said, don't worry, I also haven't got it yet. So if you have not got your 23,000, let's round it off to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Easy to remember a number. Maybe that is the hashtag you need to now put in everybody's brain, and everybody need to just ask, where is my dollar? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where is my 23,456? And if each one of us has that, then carry on voting for the people who gave us this money. But if you did not receive your dollar, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, our $23,456, if you don't have it, because that is part of the $100,000 billion, 20% of our GDP. And Prime Minister Lee spoke about this in yesterday's national broadcast. It is the largest physical intervention in our history, he says. 20% of our GDP. We are injecting almost $100 billion. Now, I just want to say something. Of course, the objective should be, number one, to protect the workers. Number two, to protect the households, and then protect the companies or the whatever. But somehow, the messages that I'm receiving is that maybe the pyramid is upside down. The workers, you and I, the individual Singaporeans, where is our 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $23,456? Where is this money in our households multiplied by the number of people? And most importantly, maybe has it all not actually reached us? Because I just want to say something. This money is from the hard work, the reserves, and we have this luxury of drawing from these reserves because our generations before us, the pioneers and the Merdeka generations, they worked hard, they built up these reserves, and they had good value systems. Now, are we just spending too fast? And I'm speaking this as the aspiring president of Republic of Singapore, because I know that these are issues I will need to look at if I ever get that role, that humble opportunity to serve you as tomorrow's president of Singapore. But I just want to say something. These are important questions we need to ask. Where is our 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So share this with everyone, my dear friends. Forward it. Join our groups, and every day we will share more with you, because I know the entire world is now changing. We have to prepare for a very different future. Companies big and small will be hit, and they will be hit very hard. Some industries will be permanently changed. Now, these are same things I heard yesterday with the words that Prime Minister Lee mentioned. And I'll tell you something. I like it that he and I are thinking the same, exactly what we have been sharing with all of you in all our past recordings, in all our past meetings, in our past WhatsApp, online, Zoom, Facebook live telecast. And all of us will be hit, not just the companies, but individuals will be hit. And many of us, we have to reinvent ourselves to survive. And if you do not do that, then chances are we will be left in pain. A lot of you are feeling the pain, I understand. A lot of you are facing retrenchments. A lot of you are going to be facing unemployment in the coming years too. And this is not going to go off for very, very fast. It's going to be for weeks, if not months, if not maybe a few years, these effects. And some jobs will disappear, Singaporeans, I know that. And some jobs will never come back. So you and I got to come together as one team, one people, one nation, one Singapore team, and make Singapore better. Because now you and I have to learn, you can say we have to relearn, maybe we have to unlearn and then relearn new skills to stay employed. Because the next few years, I guarantee you, are going to be disruptive times of our life, are going to be difficult times of our life. And maybe the first generation of leaders came from the opposition, including the father, our father of current Prime Minister, and even those people came from the opposition. They were given a chance by the Singaporeans of those times. And I tell you something, we can secure a better, brighter future for ourselves, because the Singaporeans of those times, like Prime Minister Lee mentioned yesterday in 1965 and those years, they had you can say, the right mindset, they had the right value system, and they gave a chance to the opposition to come forward to serve this country and bring it from third world to first world. And I'll tell you something, I really don't want you to lose your heart, Singaporeans. You know we are always here with you, for you, and we will serve you. And this is not like some other people who said these similar words but failed us in many ways, says a lot of people. So I say to you, let's not be fearful. On the day when it comes to do the right thing, please ask yourself one question. Where is my $23,456? And if you have it, vote for them. If you don't have it, then vote for us, because it's time for us to have better, maybe more wider representation. And we all need to come together, regardless of race, language, or religion. And I'm going to say, regardless of our party affiliations. Don't lose heart. Don't be fearful. Singapore will not falter in its onward march. I assure you, if you and I are brave enough, like the first generation of Singaporeans who allowed opposition leader of that time, Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, to come into power and change the future, I believe we can still secure a bright future for ourselves. And even stronger and a better Singapore will emerge from this crisis. I promise you. But you need to give us a chance. We cannot do it without your support. I can do these kind of speeches every day. I can share all these messages. But if you do not forward this and share this with all your friends, if you do not speak to at least 5 people today and tell them, listen, it is time to give the others a chance too. And I'll tell you something. We will never be able to face the future and have a brighter future if we don't come together. So I thank you for listening to this again. And if you have to, please share, because today I quote the words of Prime Minister Lee in yesterday's national broadcast. And I just want to put in a word there. We don't have the reach of the national TV, the national radio stations, and the media, the newspapers, and all the channels that they have. And they have not given us an opportunity. But I'll tell you what we do have. We have this handphone, this WhatsApp messaging system, this social medias, this Facebook, this YouTubes. You, as an individual Singaporean, has to forward this and share. Because today, and I quote Prime Minister Lee, and I'll tell you something very important. I quote him. He said, now at another hinge in our history. Think about it. It is our turn to face the crisis of a generation. And he also continued to say the choices that we make now will define who we are as a people and what values and ideals we passed on to future generations. I just want to say, unquote Prime Minister Lee. And from there, that one sentence, maybe he's subconsciously trying to tell every Singaporean, just like Singaporeans of those generations, the pioneer, the Merdeka in 1965 and the years of those times, he's trying to tell us, maybe subconsciously Prime Minister Lee of today is trying to tell us that Prime Minister Lee of those years, 1965, was an opposition leader, and he came into power. Those people in white were given an opportunity by the generation of their time because they were facing a crisis in those years. And today, as we hinge on these crises of our generation, maybe it's time to give us opposition leaders an opportunity to serve you. And he said these keywords, the choices that we make now will define us as who we are as the people and what values and ideals we pass on. So let's make the right choice. Ask yourself, do I have 23,456? Is my life really better after all these years? Maybe not. And if it is not better in every way, then do the right thing on the day you go to the, wherever you go to the polls. But I just want to say the choices we make are going to define us and going to create a better future for Singapore and make Singapore a better country in the next 50 years to come. So Singaporeans, we need your help. We need each and every one of you to come forward. Together, let us take Singapore safely through this COVID-19 coronavirus crisis and make the Singapore spirit flourish in this world. I cannot do it alone. Neither can the friends in my party do it alone. Neither can those people in our Singapore Democratic Alliance. Maybe it's time for us to come together as an alliance of Singapore, because we are Singapore. We are a democratic country and we are an alliance. And since the day one I've been in politics, over 10 years now, I've always been this one aligned party member with the Singapore Democratic Alliance, although everyone has been trying to poach me to come into their parties. But no, maybe it's time to come together. They need to come together as an alliance, as a coalition government if needed, and maybe as a team. Let us come together, because together, and I repeat again, together everyone achieves more. Jump on board, join the team, make Singapore better. I thank you again for listening to my beautiful messages again. Do share it with your friends, because together we will do our best as a new team of leaders to lead Singapore with enduring visions, with a better vision of what Singapore can be. and we need every one of you to work with us. So please join our WhatsApp group, join our Facebook groups, join our Facebook pages, join our YouTube channels, but most importantly, just forward this and share it with everybody. This is your pal, aspiring President, Republic of Singapore, Harminder Pal Singh. Thank you again for listening to my messages again. Have a very good day ahead. Thank you.